What's going on, everybody? We're in Romans 1 today. In Romans 1, I could honestly go on and talk about it for hours, and it is so good. There's so many good things in here, but I'm going to try to make it quick for you guys and just give you guys a quick summary of everything. Okay, so Romans 1, the first part is just a basic summary of the gospel. Paul is just giving the people, the Christians in Rome, a just basic summary of the gospel. Okay, he's never been to Rome, so he's giving them a basic summary of the gospels. Okay, and then after that, in verse 8, he gives his first fruits to the Lord. Remember that. In verse 8, he gives his first fruits to the Lord, and first, he gives thanks to the Lord for God's children, for Jesus' children, whom Jesus made. Okay, give your first fruits to the Lord. Okay, and also says in verse 12, and I love this verse, that is that we may be mutually encouraged by each other's faith, both yours and mine. Okay, we have to surround ourselves with people who encourage our faith. We have to surround ourselves and listen and learn from people that encourage our faith and build us up, build each other up, okay, because we're all brothers, we're all children of God, okay? And another thing that I want to say is do not be ashamed of the gospel, okay? Paul tells us that in verse 16. We cannot be ashamed of the gospel when we're spreading it because it is a true word. Okay, is a true word, and we have seen it live out. We've seen it be true, come true in life. We've never seen it disproved. So do not be ashamed of this gospel and believe it with your whole heart, okay? And another thing I want to point out is Paul tells us here that everything in this world proves God's existence. The beauty, the complexity, the science behind it, everything proves God's existence. Just take a second to look around and admire his beauty, Okay, and then it's also going to, and talking about lukewarmness. Okay, we can't be wise in our own eyes, and we can't fall short of the sin that is in our own eyes, because when the idol worships go and worship their own sin, they go and worship their own sin, and God gives them that. Okay, he loves them so much, and he lets them live in their own world. He lets them follow their own path. He lets them follow their own path and their own sin, which is sexual immorality, giving all the truths that they think is right in their own self, but they don't submit to the one truth that is the right truth. Okay, and then he tells us in the end verse of chapter 1, and he tells us our mind is so full with sin. It is so full of sin, with how many times we've run away, with how many times we've run and worshipped other idols, money, whatever else it is, whatever other thing, whatever other truth you believe in, whatever other thing that is not obeyed by God, which is not the truth of God, we've been running away from. Okay, so it's a quick, short summary of Romans chapter 1. Sorry for the long video. Hope you guys stay in tuned. Stay in tune to all of it. Listen to all of it. Stay in your word. Stay blessed. Amen.